Lesson 4. First and Second Hijrahs to Abyssinia. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma akhrijna min zulumatil wahm wa akrimna binuril fahm. Allahumma aftah alayna abwab rahmatik wanshur alayna khazaina ulumik برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Welcome to Lesson 4, First and Second Hijrahs to Abyssinia. When endurance was reaching its limits and persecution became unbearable, the Prophet advised a group of his followers to migrate to Abyssinia. Abyssinia is more or less the present-day Ethiopia and Eritrea in Africa, where a benign king reigned. This was the first hijrah or emigration in Islam, and 15 people took part in it. A translation of Quran chapter 16 verse 41 says, "And those who become fugitives for Allah's sake, after they are oppressed, verily we shall give them good abode in the world, and surely the reward of the hereafter is greater, if they only knew." And what was all this tyranny and persecution for? Just for believing in one God and for leading a chaste and pious life. Further immigration of some people led to intensified persecution of those left behind. The Prophet advised a second hijrah. Of course, it is based on a divine instruction to Abyssinia, and this time about 100 people, including Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, the elder brother of Ali, went away. The Quraysh sent a deputation with Amr ibn al-As and Ammara ibn Rabi'ah to Negus, the king of Abyssinia, Najashi in Arabic, to demand the deportation of the emigrants back to Mecca to be punished by death. Having won the favor of the clergy, the deputation tried to prejudice the king against the fugitives. Asked to explain the position, Ja'far delivered a speech which is a brilliant summary of the fundamentals of Islam and all that it stands for. He says, "O king, we were plunged in the depth of ignorance and barbarism. We adored idols. We lived in unchastity. We ate dead animals and we spoke abomination. We disregarded every feeling of humanity and the duties of hospitality and neighborhood. We knew no law but that of the strong. At that time, God raised from among us a man of whose birth, truthfulness, honesty, and purity we were aware, and he called us to the unity of God and taught us not to associate anything with him." He forbade us to worship idols and enjoined us to speak the truth, to be faithful to our trusts, to be merciful, and to regard the rights of neighbors. He forbade us to speak ill of women and to eat the substance of orphans. He ordered us to flee from vices, to abstain from evil, to offer prayers, to render alms, and to observe the fast. We have believed in him. We have accepted his teachings and injunctions to worship God and not to associate anything with him. For this reason, our people have risen against us and persecuted us in order to make us forego the worship of God and return to the worship of idols of wood and stone and other abominations. They have tortured us and injured us. Having found no safety among them, we have come to thy country and hope thou wilt protect us from their oppression. The king, who was Nestorian Christian, as already observed, found the doctrine similar to those of his own religion and opposed to the polytheism of the Quraysh. He wished Ja'far to recite some passage from the Revelations to the Prophet. Ja'far recited passages from Surah Maryam, which touched the heart of the king so much so that he could not help but shed tears. The king refused to oblige the deputation, and the latter had to return disappointed. Muslim traditions or ahadith indicate that the king later on secretly converted to Islam. Next lesson, we will deal with deputations of Quraysh, inshallah. For more similar lessons, subscribe to Wayfaring with Mansoor channel. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.